Hey, yo, what's up, my folks? It's your boy, Fizzle the Hizzle, aka Ben here. Bringing guys week 5 team builder against week 5 team builder against the Dallas Cobalions and Coach Ruben Esparza. He's a phenomenal guy. He's a great battler. He's not starting too hot this season. He's starting off 1-3, I believe, and your Tampa Bay Weasels are 2-2, looking to get above 500 for the first time this season, looking to get our third win of the season. Let's talk about his draft here. He has Tapu Bulu, really strong grass fairy type. Uh, I don't like to call it a fairy type because no play rough. Uh, so it mostly depends on the damage from Horn Leech and Wood Hammer and stuff like that. It can be annoying, like a Leech Seed set. Brick Break Bulk Up set can be pretty scary. It sets up the grassy terrain, which gives it recovery, and it also boosts its grass type moves. If you look at those stats, he's very physically defensive. 70 HP is not fantastic. 95 special defense is pretty mediocre, but it's still pretty good. Next up, we got a Milotic, a very bulky water type. 95 HP, 79 defense, 125 special defense. You usually see these things more defensively bulky, and I think that's going to happen because I have a Jirachi on my team, and I think we're going to use that to take advantage in this match. Abilities, he has Marvel Scale. If its defense is boosted by 1.5 times. Competitive, if any of its stats are lowered, its special attack is raised by 2, and Cute Charm is irrelevant. So I usually see more like annoying sets, stally sets like Scald, Recover, Toxic, Ice Beam, maybe even like a Dragon Tail, Haze, stuff like that. And this thing is a bulky water type. It's the definition of a bulky water type. Next up, we got the monster against our team, Arcanine, the boy Crimson. 90 HP, 80 in both defenses. Very good mixed attack, 110 attack and 100 special attack, 95 speed. It's definitely a very good all-around mom. Gets Intimidate. You know what Intimidate does. Flash Fire and Justify. I think he's definitely bringing Intimidate because, I have a Jirachi and a Buzzwole and a Registeel. And a lot of things are weak to this thing, especially if it brings like a banded set. That's gonna be pretty scary, man. I used to run banded Arcanine back in the day with like close combat, wild charge, flare blitz, and extreme speed. It's it's scary. So yeah, I usually see things like that. It gets extreme speed, like I said before. Flame charge set could be cool. Crunch body slam. Gets Will-O-Wisp for the tech. Stuff like that. But I think he's definitely bringing offensive to take advantage of my double steal and the sorts. Next up, he has Crobat, very fast mon, hitting 130, 85 HP, 80 in both defenses, 90 attack. So the thing with Crobat, it's very fast and it has a lot of good utility, but it can't hit hard at all. So that allows me to set up on a lot of things on it. And Crobat is especially good in this match because I have a Buzzwole and Brave Bird probably blows it back. Uh, so yeah, I usually see this thing more defensively or have a more utility set like U-Turn, Defog, Brave Bird, Toxic, stuff like that. You usually see things like Black Sludge, Roost. Roost is an item, apparently. Black Sludge and stuff like that. Maybe even Life Orb. Inner Focus cannot be flinched. Infiltrator. To infiltrate substitutes. and stuff like that. Next up, we have Piloswine. Piloswine is a very bulky mon. Especially, it's a very good Eviolite user. 100 HP and attack, 80 defense, 60 special defense. But with the Eviolite, those defensive stats get boosted, so it can be very tanky. You usually see these things more uh, utility based or stally, like Toxic, Ice Shard, Earthquake, Icicle Crash. Definitely Stealth Rocks. Um, Eviolite, of course, has the item. Oblivious cannot be taunted or infatuated. Snow Cloak immunity to hail, which is not happening. Thick Fat, Fire and Ice moves are halved. That's definitely coming. Next up, we have Exploud, which is actually really scary. 104 HP, 63 defense, 73 special defense. So its defenses are very low. We can take advantage of that. 91 in both attacks, but usually see these things more special because of Boom Burst. 140 base special, or 140 base attack. It's stab 100%. And if you slap a Specs on this thing, if you slap a Scarf on this thing, it can rip holes through teams. It's a very good wall breaker. It gets Heat Wave. Wait, no, it gets Flamethrower, not Heat Wave. Fire Blast Extra Sensory, stuff like that. So a choice specs set can be pretty terrifying. Soundproof, immune to sound-based moves, and scrappy, so it can hit normal. It can hit ghost types, excuse me, with boom burst. So like nothing switches in except for like a good rock type, but it gets focus blast. So pick your poison. Next up, we got Zubstrika. I really like Zubstrika. It's a very fast electric type, 116 base speed, 100 attack, and 80 special attack. It's a very good mix attack. For slapping an expert belt on this thing, it's going to be putting in work. As you see, these things like more dischargey, hidden power overheat, signal beam. It gets volt switch, thunder wave to spread status. Um, it can be a very good Z user. Slap an expert belt on it, maybe even a life orb. It gets a lightning rod. It raises special attack by 1 electric immunity. Motor drive is a speed boosting form of lightning rod and sap sipper. Immunity to a grass move, and my grass type is Vileplume, so I don't think that's happening. Next up, we have Latios, a very scary mon. 130 special attack, phenomenal 110 speed, 110 special defense, 80 HP. This thing is a terrifying threat. So if he sets up a Calm Mind, that's gonna be game. Let me tell you that. And like a Z Draco, please stop. So like a choice spec set is terrifying. Life Orb is still terrifying. Gets things like Calm Mind, Draco, of course, Energy Ball, Ice Beam against a Bolt Beam coverage, of course, Psychic Stab, Thunder. I said Thunderbolt already. Surf Shadow Ball, stuff like that. It can be like a choice Scarf trick user to potentially cripple my Buzzwole or something. Who knows? It gets Reuse and Recover, Defog as well. Uh, yeah. So Levitate can be hit by ground moves. Umbreon, pure dark type, 95 HP, 110 defense, 130 special defense. So this thing is really annoying. You usually see it more stally like excuse me. It's a very good wish passer. It gets heal bell, foul play, toxic are the things you normally see on this. Synchronize. If I toxic it, it toxics me back. Inner focus cannot be made to flinch. Usually see like a leftovers, maybe even a berry like a figgy or something like that. It's a very good wish passer, but the thing is, with its low attack and special attack, we can just sub up on it and potentially like just sit there because they can't do anything to me back. Lucario is definitely coming to this match because I have a Mega Diancie. He has Bullet Punch, no surprise. 70 HP, 70 defense too, 110 attack, 110, 115 special attack. So it's very hard hitting. 90 speed is pretty unfortunate, honestly, but it's still a monster, especially with like if it's a Nasty Plot or a Swords Dance set, it's a very good mix attacker. It gets a lot of coverage. Aura Sphere, Close Combat, Blaze Kick, Brick Break, Dark Pulse, Dragon Pulse, Earthquake, Extreme Speed, Bullet Punch, Vacuum Wave, stuff like that. It's a very good mix attacker. Steadfast. If it's flinched, it raises speed by 1 stage. Inner Focus, Justified, hit by Dark Type move, its attack goes up by 1. I can definitely envision like an Expert Belt or a Life Orb being on this. Maybe even like a Specs or Bandit set. Scarf could definitely be an option, but I don't see that coming. Aromatisse, another Wish Passer. Very bulky fairy type. 101 HP, 72 defense, and 89 special defense. It's very bulky. 99 special attack is actually pretty solid. Usually you see things like Wish, Protect, Moonblast, Toxic, Reflect, Light Screen, stuff like that. Lefties, of course, maybe even a berry. Healer is useless. Aroma Veil cannot be taunted. Stuff like that. You see this. Next up, we have Mega Banette. I've always been a fan of Mega Banette, but the only thing that's good about it is its attack. 165 attack. Everything else is garbage. 64 HP, 75 defense, 83 special defense. Can't do anything. Obviously, it takes up a mega slot. Usually, you see these things like. Let's talk about its ability first of all. Prankster. Yeah, it's gonna be Prankster when it mega evolves. Will-O-Wisp, Cotton Guard, Destiny Bound. That stuff can be pretty scary, but it, unfortunately for us, it doesn't get any good like physical attacking ghost type moves except Shadow Claw, but it's really low base power. So yeah, I don't see this thing coming. It's considered one of the worst megas out there, but I like it. So as far as what I'm gonna predict he's gonna bring Bulu, Milotic, Arcanine. He's bringing Piloswine, Latios, probably Lucario, right? Because of Bullet Punch. It makes sense. Yeah. So a few notes about his team. He has terrible hazard situation. His only hazard setter in all of his draft is Piloswine with Stealth Rocks. Take a glance. Nothing. Nothing else gets hazards. He has 2 Wish Passers in Aromatisse and Umbreon. His only hazard removing options are Crobat and Latios with Defog. So his hazard situation in general is pretty bad. It's looking pretty rough for him. And we're looking to take advantage of that. So that means when we switch around with our Volt Turn combo with Jirachi or Thunder or something like that, we don't get punished for it. Let's check off with our Scarf Jirachi here. This thing outspeeds Scarf Lucario, which may or may not come. I am not really sure. Iron Head U-turn Drain Punch Trick. Drain Punch is there just in case we have to 1v1 like a Pokemon, like a Milotic. We can still win against it, but U-turn is obviously there for momentum. Trick is there to cripple things like Umbreon, Aromatisse, Milotic. It's going to be great. So what is usually going to be a switch in to this thing, it's going to be Tricked if I can predict it properly. If I can get this thing against those things, Trick is going to be definitely a good option. So yeah, this thing is going to be pretty good, and I hope it works. Next up we have Juvia. Protect Scald, Ice Beam, Toxic. Making its return after being manhandled by that Sylveon. Poor thing. Protect Scald, Ice Beam, Toxic. Protect is there to scout for Wild Charge on Arcanine. Oh, I need to go over his Z move users. His Z users are Tapu Bulu, Zebstrika, and Latios. So he cannot run Z Wild Charge against my Suicune, so Protect is there to scout for it. Scald is there to spread burns, and Scald's is for Arcanine, it can hit it hard. Ice Beam is for Latios, so it doesn't set up all over me, and Toxic is there for his Pokemons like Milotic and stuff like that, Aromatisse too, even though it may have Heal Bell or something. So yeah, 252 HP, 176 speed. It outspeeds Adam at max speed Bulu, according to my notes. It's a little specially bulky to handle Latios well, and it's basically there to check Arcanine, which puts a dent in my draft. So yeah, it's gonna be looking pretty good. You remember how he winked every time I said substitute? You didn't see that. Hammer Arm, Leech Life, Thunder Punch, Substitute. We sub on everything. This outspeeds Non-Scarf Exploud. It's more especially bulky to handle the Exploud, maybe even Special Lucario, which could be mixed because he needs Bullet Punch for Mega Dynasty. It completely walls Bulu, Piloswine, and Umbreon. Substitute is there to not be toxic by one of the Pokemons. Tapu Bulu, Mega Banette, Umbreon, Piloswine cannot break the substitute. So Bulu, we just sit in front of this thing. This is built to live 1 Boom Burst from Exploud that after 1 substitute. So if he's not Specs and we sub up and we're at 75%, we can still live a Boom Burst. We're very specially bulky to handle his special threats because he does not have a lot of physical threats on his team. And what is his outspeed? It outspeeds Non-Scarf Exploud, which can put a dent in our team. Hammer Arm is there for extra damage, just in case Drain Punch doesn't kill. And we're going to be slower than most things anyway. So that's going to be pretty dope. Next up, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Raijin. Thunderbolt, U-turn, Sludge Bomb, Focus Blast. Mono attacking this time. Thunderbolt is there because... Let me just read off my notes here. We're free to spam Thunderbolt across this team, honestly. His only switch-in is, like, Piloswine. And guess what we have at the bottom? Fighting Z, Focus Blast. This 110% of the time kills Piloswine. It just obliterates it. Z Fighting is destruction. And this thing is probably going to be my lead because his only hazard setting option is Piloswine, so he might want to lead that to get his rocks up, so Z Fighting probably destroys it. Z Fighting also kills Exploud. It almost kills Umbreon, actually. It lives on a roll. Lucario. Sludge Bomb is for Bulu and to hit Aromatisse somewhat hard. It's not going to be doing a lot of damage, though. And Thunderbolt is there just for stab, man. This thing has been putting in the work. It has 7 kills, I believe, already. It's insane. I love this thing to death. Next up, we got Kirito here. This outspeeds everything except for Zebstrika and Crobat. And I don't think Zebstrika is coming. Pursuit, Knockoff, Poison Jab, Ice Shard. Pursuit is there to Pursuit Trap Latios. Knockoff is there just to spread knockoffs everywhere. Um, Poison Jab is for Bulu, and Ice Shard is in case he wants to set up with in case he wants to set up with something and we can't finish it off. We have Ice Shard just in case. Life Orb is gonna be pretty clutch, and obviously we have Max Attack. Next up, we have Rihanna, who has been pretty underwhelming this season according to the stats, but I feel like it has been putting in a lot of work. It forces opponents to prepare for this thing, maybe like bring Bullet Punch like Lucario. So that's why I feel like Lucario is definitely coming because of this thing. Hidden Power Poison, Power Gem, Moonblast. Uh, so yeah, we have to be very careful of Bullet Punch Lucario. And like, if he doesn't bring Lucario, this thing puts in the work. Let me tell you that. HP Poison is for Bulu. It one shots Bulu with HP Poison. There's not very switches to this thing except for like Milotic and Aromatisse. And Stealth Rocks are there to guarantee some KOs and whittle down the Arcanine, which is such a threat to my team. This will probably be my lead in the matchup if he does not bring Piloswine. If he brings Piloswine, I'm 100% leading Raijin. So yeah, uh, that's my team. Oh, you guys see my VGC team there? Yeah, that's gonna be the battle. The team builder. I mean, the team builder is going up today, obviously, and the battle will go up tomorrow. Uh, let's pick up our third win of the season. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means a whole world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Peace.